Hey, and welcome to this episode of Little Did You Know Travel. My name is Damian Little. Thank you for traveling with me today, and thanks for traveling with me for the last 3 months of the existence of Little Did You Know Travel. I greatly appreciate the 485 plus of you who have hit that subscribe button. Slowly but surely, we're growing. The views are up, but I do need your help. I need you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. And after you watch a video, if you like it, give it a like or a thumbs up. That definitely helps this channel grow. And that's how YouTube works. More interaction, the better, so comments as well. Feel free to comment on any of my videos. This week's episode's a little bit different. We're going to pause my European videos for a week to kind of bring up a topic that kind of occurred this week to me. I'm actually questioning my loyalty to Hilton. And that's what we're talking about this week on Little Did You Know Travel. That's right. This week we're talking about how I'm questioning my loyalty to Hilton. Now, those of you who know me know I'm a pretty Hilton loyalist. However, I got some statistics that's going to blow your mind. I've been a Hilton Diamond, which is their top tier status, for over 16 years in a row. I have stayed in Hilton hotels over 955 nights. That's over 2.5 years of my life I've been in a Hilton family hotel. And when I say Hilton family, I'm talking about the different brands that Hilton manage, operates, and owns. You have their more luxury brands like the Waldorf Astoria and the Conrad Hotel. You have their full service hotels like Hilton and DoubleTree. You have Embassy Suites. You have those more specialized brands like extended stay hotels like the Homewood Suites, the Homewood Suites. And you also have a very basic hotel like the Hampton Inn. All of which have different standards, right? You're not going to find the same brand standards at a Hampton Inn than you would find at a Waldorf Astoria. And a lot of these hotels are operated by independent franchisees. This franchisee could be an individual or a small company that runs hotels for a bunch of different companies. But what Hilton provides these people that run these hotels are what are called brand standards. It's like a Bible that tells them this is how you run your hotel, to meet the standards that Hilton sets forth for each individual brand. Well, this week, I had an unexpected hotel stay at a Homewood Suites in the suburbs of Philadelphia. The trip was unexpected and a little unfortunate because it was for a family funeral. However, we needed a hotel, we needed it in a certain area, and we had a few options within the Hilton family. I also suggested other members of my family to book at this hotel because it was convenient. And it was a Homewood Suite, so it's got some perks. Or it should have some perks. A little bit of a larger room, more of a suite with a little kitchenette, a refrigerator, and a pretty basic breakfast, but a breakfast included. And, what the basics, right? Nothing fancy, but clean, safe. Well, unfortunately, this hotel failed on almost every possible front of the bare minimal standards I would expect from a hotel that has a Hilton brand on it. All right, so let's get into it. The purpose of this video is not to necessarily review this horrible hotel, but it's to guide you through this scenario if this ever happens to you. If you stay at a major branded hotel, either the Hilton, Marriott, Hyatt, or any of them, all of them have a corporate office or somewhere you can turn when a hotel isn't performing up to the standards you expect, and really the standards that are presented to you when you go to book this hotel. So I'm going to walk you through the process I did after my stay and the somewhat solution I was provided. Welcome to the Homewood Suites Philadelphia Plymouth Meeting. What a name. So again, I wasn't planning on doing this, so I don't have a lot of video footage, but I have some photos I want to share with you. So the check-in process was very lackluster. The person checking me in looked like she put a t-shirt on and was working the desk. Now again, this is a limited service hotel, so there is not necessarily a uniform, but there should be a better dress code, and there also should be some type of name tag on this employee, which there was not. And yeah, at this point I'm nitpicking, but this is just one example of how this hotel suffers from a disease called PPM, or piss poor management. And that is what's going to be the reason for all of these things that occurred on my stay. I checked in online, which Hilton, I do like their system. You have the ability to go to a map on your phone, choose a room, and then you're checked in. So I chose some room, I don't even know which number it was, but the the lady at check-in told me that room wasn't available. She's going to move me to another room on the same floor. Not a big deal because these are all cookie cutter rooms. They're basically all the same in the categories. This hotel had two different categories: a studio suite, meaning there's a bedroom, a sitting area, and a pretty significant kitchenette with a full-size refrigerator and cooktop all in one. Their one bedroom suites has a wall and a door that divides the bedroom from the sitting area and the kitchen. So better for larger families and for noise management. But they're the two type of rooms, so basically I'm sticking in the same category. With status, no upgrades are officially offered at these hotels. However, I've been to some of these type of hotels, even Hampton Inns, where I've been upgraded as a diamond, which is appreciated, but should never be expected. So when I walked into the suite, the first thing that I noticed was when you walk in, you're on this laminate floor, which is in the kitchen area. My shoes instantly started to stick to the floor. You hear this like someone spilt a soda or something. But it wasn't that sticky, but enough to make a sound. So I was like, just the feeling of your shoes sticking a little bit to the floor doesn't give you the feeling that this place is clean. So I started to investigate a little more. I walked up to the TV and found the little, a TV listing that was wet, which was a little weird. I'm assuming they wiped it down. I don't know, but it was also a little sticky. So wet and sticky. And as you see in this photo here, it was separating. It was a piece of paper laminated and it's coming apart probably because it got wet. So investigating the room, I looked around. First thing I noticed was the faucet in the bathroom wasn't the cleanest. Look at this photo here. I don't know what that gunk is, hard water stains, but again, unnecessary. Like, these rooms should be cleaned every day or every couple days, but clearly PPM, piss poor management, has allowed the cleaning standards to drop. So I'm in the bathroom. I'll be honest, sitting on the toilet, and I'm looking straight at an open door. And this is what I saw right under the door handle, which would be, let's call it crotch level of a male. I don't know what this white creamy substance that is running down the door is. I will let your imagination fill in those blanks, but I think we probably have the same idea of what it could be and most likely is. And again, no matter what it is, why is it there? They're not cleaning these rooms. So then I peer my eyes to the shower. And I noticed that the glass, where the glass meets the shower basin, there is a nice string of some pink mold. Okay, this happens. I get it in my house sometimes. But guess what I do? I clean it. It's a simple process. And you also notice there's some hairs just stuck there. Not my hair. And then I look into the corner of the shower. And what do I find? A different flavor of mold. So there is variety at this hotel. You have the pink mold, and here we have some black mold. Again, a little bit of bleach and just normal cleaning maintenance would prevent this from happening. And then I look at the toilet as it's connected to the floor, and there's a long hair being preserved, almost fossilized by a dry, gooey glop of urine. So still in the bathroom, I continue my investigation. And of course, the bathroom of a hotel is probably the thing you expect to be the cleanest, right? Because you're walking around with no shoes on. You're putting your toothbrush on the counter. You're putting your bare bum on a toilet seat. You're going to take a shower to get clean, so you would expect all of this to be clean. So clearly, this hotel gets a big F. Now, I closed the door, and behind the door, there's a hook where you hang your towel for the shower, which is nice to have. But some guest, who was an asshole, put a sticker on this hook. All right, get rid of it. Like, if you're the housekeeper and you notice this, you should notice it. You put in a ticket with maintenance to go up there and have it removed if you don't have Goo Gone on your maid card, right? If you don't have the ability to do it, you make sure that maintenance does it, and that room should be rectified, something that quick before another guest comes in. You can see someone has tried to scrape at this. It actually had some discoloration on it, so it's been there a long time. It didn't happen whoever was in there the night before. All right, so the bathroom, absolutely disgusting. Now the bed, I looked around the bed. The sheets look clean and crisp. There was no hairs in the bed. So that's definitely a good sign. It's at least clean. The bed. So in the kitchen of these suites, either the studio suite or the one bedroom suite, there is dishes provided. cutlery as well, and there is a dishwasher. Now, on the outside of the dishwasher, there's a sticker that says, let me read it here from my photo here. The dishes inside are clean and ready for use. Well, let's take a peek inside the dishwasher. Absolutely disgusting. It's not clean, and I'm not using that knife. The kitchen overall, some of the dishes in the cabinet were also not the cleanest. I wouldn't eat off of any of them. And the refrigerator and microwave were fairly decent, but that floor area in there was sticky. The countertop was a little bit sticky, clearly not being cleaned as one would expect. Now let's talk about the hallways. Now this was the third floor of this hotel. I didn't look around other halls, but look at the carpet. We're not talking one or two stains. This is a stain-ridden carpet. And here's a photo of the wall in the hallway. I don't know what that is, but it's this substance that needs to be rectified, right? I'm assuming, and maybe it's bad for me to assume, that the housekeepers they hired have the ability to see. Clearly, they're not looking, or just don't care. And even if the frontline employee, and we can get into a whole discussion of how it's hard to get people to work for some reason in this country right now. But the management, where are they? If no one will do it as your employee, guess what? It's your job. Fix it. Horrible. So then I'm in the elevator, and I notice this sign taped crookedly in the elevator. Again, very tacky. A letter from the general manager, Anna Marie. But let's read this letter. To our valued guest. Thank you for choosing the Homewood Suites by Hilton for your lodging needs. We hope that you are enjoying and will continue to enjoy the remainder of your stay. Well, Anne Marie, not enjoying, and guess what? It gets worse. We're not even halfway through yet. No, never got better. We have a professional carpet company working in-house to replace the carpets in the guest corridors in order to maintain our high Hilton standards of quality and cleanliness. So they're clearly admitting they're not up to Hilton standards. It says it right here in this letter, taped crookedly with scotch tape in an elevator. But let's read the bold and underlined. The team will begin with the fourth floor on Tuesday, July 12th. Now, I was there the Thursday of that week, so the 14th, at 9 a.m. The installation process is simple, but we need your cooperation. Your customers aren't there to cooperate with you. We advise guests on the fourth floor to wait at least I can't even read it without laughing, to wait at least 6 hours before entering and exiting your room during this installation process. Okay. So, if I have a room on the fourth floor, now this was Thursday, I'm in the hotel. I'm seeing this letter dated talking about the 12th, which was Tuesday on the fourth floor. It's where they're going to start. So you would anticipate that they're going through all the levels, because I'm on the third floor and I look at this carpet and it's horrifying. That potentially now on Thursday they're maybe going to start doing my floor. They expect their customers, their guests of their hotel, to, if you're inside your hotel room, your prison cell now, you're sentenced to 6 hours. Oh, and if you're out and about and you want to come back to your hotel room, oh, I'm sorry, you can't enter your room right now. Close the damn floor down. Or shut down a bulk of rooms where you don't have guests where they're doing the work. You don't tell a hotel guest, well, for 6 hours, if you're in your room, just stay there. And if you go out, well, if you want to go grab lunch, you got to wait 6 hours to come back in. Let me continue with the letter here. We regret that this may be an inconvenience to you, but hope you will appreciate our desire to keep our hotel maintained for all of our guests. You allowed the state of these carpets to happen. And now you wait to have them repaired and replaced, and you want your paying customers that didn't make these stains to serve a 6-hour sentence in their room. The letter concludes, "Once again, thank you for staying with us at the Homewood Suites by Hilton. We trust the remainder of your stay at Plymouth Meeting will be an excellent one. Thank you, General Manager." When you got to tell me 3 times in your letter that I'm going to like my stay, you clearly know it sucks. So I went down to the desk and inquired and said, "Hey, I just want to make sure I saw the letter taped in the elevator about this carpet repair. We're not going to run into issues this afternoon, right? We're not, or tomorrow morning, for example, when we need to go to a funeral." "Oh, no, you should be okay," is what I was told. Should be. Okay. So at this point, as you can probably understand, it was a somber time. So we went to where we needed to go, and I brought the attention up to the person at the desk that the room wasn't very clean, and she just kind of said sorry. No solution was offered. So later in the day, late at night, right around 11 p.m., returned to the hotel, used the key at the door, a flashing orange light. The second key, flashing orange light. Walked down to the front desk to get this rectified. There's no one there. No one to be found. So we're standing there a little bit, maybe into the bathroom, maybe they're up back. Hello. No answer. So then we decided to search the first floor for an employee. And we did find one. And I do have to say, this employee was very helpful and was working. We found this person in a laundry room doing commercial laundry back a house. So this night front desk clerk clearly had other duties that pulled them away from the front door, the front desk area. So, anybody off the street could walk in and, potentially be a safety hazard for this hotel because there's no eyeballs at that front desk, which you would expect. Now, it's very common for these lower end hotels. I'm not saying lower end isn't bad, but, these more limited service hotels to have one employee work in the overnight hour. So that person should have an eye and a pulse of what's going on in that hotel, not stuck in a laundry room doing laundry. So in this very hotel, there was an incident back in 2020 where this elderly gentleman was testing that chair out, and he decided, you know what? I bet that'll fit in the car. And he carried it right out of the hotel. This is why it's important to have eyeballs at the front desk and also eyeballs on all the security cameras not doing laundry. Once we found the member of staff, he was very helpful. We told him about our issue. He says, and then he tried to reprogram the keys. He said, these keys should work. It might be the lock. Like he was almost expecting it to be the lock. Like this has happened before at this hotel. It's what you get for PPM or bad maintenance from the PPM, piss poor management, and decided he would walk us up to a room, which was greatly appreciated. This guy was solution driven. And he was also presented himself a lot better than the other employees in the hotel that was just, wearing t-shirts. So walked up, tried these new keys he programmed. They didn't work. Used his override key, told us, hey, might need to change the batteries. I'm going to go change the batteries. And he was back and forth a few times. Again, it's 11 o'clock at night and he's doing this. And finally he says, well, I don't know what's wrong. So you're going to have to, anytime you want to come into your room, you need to come to the desk and one of us will let you in. At this point, we just wanted to sleep. Fine. Thank you. Good night. So now we're in a situation. If we wanted to leave our hotel room, we had to go to the desk, ask somebody to let us in our own room. Okay. Clearly, he didn't have the power or the knowledge to deal with this. Stuff happens. He can't be really upset about this, but it just is icing on the cake. The thing that I say is, why did this happen? Again, bad maintenance, bad management. So next morning, go down to breakfast, and we know that we're going to ask for help to go back into our room after we eat. We met some family down at breakfast at a certain time, all eating together, and a member of the family was scooping out their breakfast, pre-made everything, very low quality food, but I knew that going in. It's not made to order stuff. It's buffet, cafeteria quality food. My aunt picks up a utensil, scoops something, goes to the next thing with the same utensil, gets yelled at by an employee. Hey, you can't use that there. You're supposed to use the other utensils. Oh, now I got to clean it. Okay. So the high crime of improper utensil usage was called out by an employee. And then a guilt trip saying, I have to go clean it. This guy looked like Mike Tyson sitting in the corner, eyeing you as you got your breakfast in the morning. Again, you're in a service industry. Anne Marie, you need to teach your employees how to talk to customers. Even if they do something wrong or incorrect, there's tact on how to do it. Allow me to introduce someone to you, a very wise man named Conrad Hilton, who was the founder of Hilton Hotels.
Conrad was convinced that genuine warmth and hospitality were key, and that hotels should be places that spread peace and understanding.
Again, not happening at this hotel. So now, horrifyingly dirty room. Carpets that look like someone got murdered on them in the hallways. We can't enter our room without getting an escort from the front desk, and then berated by an employee for improper utensil usage at breakfast. So, all right, I'm in a little bit of a rant right now, and I want you to pull back and think. If you spent $159 plus tax for this room, would you be satisfied? If I read the website of this hotel and it tells me the features of the room, would I get... Oh, and by the way, it's listed as a perk, and it's a perk across the board for Homewood Suites. Normally Monday through Thursday, we were there a Thursday night, for the manager's reception. And this is a period in the evening, normally about a 2-hour window, where there's evening snacks. There might be like a hot dog, some basic food item, and some complimentary beverages. And if local laws allow complimentary like beer or wine or something like that. It's not the world's best, but it's a perk of staying at Homewood Suites. This hotel, due to COVID, your safety is important to us. We're currently not offering the evening manager reception. You're worried about my health and safety? Look how dirty the bathroom is, Anne Marie. I mean, I personally question eating anything in this hotel because the room they give a customer or a guest is this dirty. What does the back of the house look like? It's unbelievable. So if you think I'm rambling and just complaining and I'm too picky, put that down in the comments. But I would ask you to think about this. For $159 a night, for a branded hotel, a Homewood Suites by Hilton, that you expect certain standards. This isn't a Super 8. Even though it appears like it. It's not a Red Roof Inn. They don't offer rooms by the hour. But I probably would have had a better stay at a Super 8. And at a much cheaper cost. So what do you do in a situation like this? Well, clearly no one at the hotel had the power or the ability to correct things for a permanent solution. Again, the gentleman that helped us in the evening was helpful, tried his best, but you could tell his hands were tied, and you could sense a little bit of frustration. So you can try all you want at a hotel, but if you run into a hotel that's being run this way, they clearly don't care. And you are a nobody to them. If they cared about you, the hotel wouldn't have been this dirty. They would have been preventive maintenance. They would have done a better job cleaning your room. So I know this. It's not worth your energy, your frustration. We're there for a funeral. Do our thing. We'll deal with it later. So after checkout, I sent a message to Hilton on social media, to Homewood Suites Facebook page, a direct message. Kind of wrote a little bit of a blurb and attached some photos. I got a response back and says, oh, this sounds bad. Unfortunately, we can't see photos on Facebook Messenger, even though they attach to them. Fine, send an email to this address. So there's 2 addresses that I've used for this. And clearly the social media side of it isn't a place to get a pretty quick response because they can't see what you're talking about. Now they did assign a case number for when I send that email to reference. And that's what I did. Now there's the email address that they provided was hilton.comments@hilton.com. That's hilton.comments@hilton.com. Now that's what the social media side told me to email. Now previously, years ago when I had an issue with a hotel, I used this alternative email, which does seem to get you right into corporate affairs. And that is guest.correspondence@hilton.com. So guest.correspondence at Hilton.com. Both of which potentially goes to the same group of people. So in the corporate office side, there's a team that deals with these escalated problems. Now, in the past, I've had issues with Hilton before. Nothing this egregious. I mean, I've had service issues and I make it known. And a lot of times you'll get a response saying, hey, thanks for letting us know. We notified the hotel and we're going to give them 3 business days to respond. And then that hotel will rectify the situation. Sometimes they'll give you a refund. Sometimes they'll give you some points. Other times they'll just tell you, yeah, we're sorry, and give you nothing. Or if they don't respond, you let the guest correspondence or the comments email know that, hey, you told me in 3 days I'm going to hear something from this hotel. I have not. And then the corporate side would issue something I've gotten before called a Be My Guest certificate. They normally issue those on more of the higher brand hotels. It's basically a certificate that is for a free standard room at any of the property type you stayed at. So if it was a Hilton in the world for one night. They're pretty lucrative because, I've used one of them at the Hilton Hawaiian Village, which the standard rate for the night I was there was like over $500 for a standard room. So that voucher definitely got some good value. And then at the lower brands, they might throw some points at you. Now, my response from my initial email in this situation was, we have forwarded the information and photos you provided to the management team of the hotel for review. Not really sure what they need a review here, but we'll review the photos together now. The letter did go on to say that they included 30,000 Hilton points to my Hilton account, and they did deposit those pretty quickly. 30,000 Hilton points is a pretty decent compensation. That is a street value of about $145, $150, which was very close to the nightly rate or the night that I stayed in this hotel. So, okay, decent compensation. It still almost feels like you just threw stuff at me and hope I go away. I will tell you, on Tuesday the 19th, which was a few days after my stay, the hotel assistant manager did email me. It was pretty cookie cutter, didn't really go into great detail. There wasn't much explanation on how they're going to fix it, but they're going to fix it. Doesn't really affect me, but I wish that Hilton Corporate would have held that hotel a little more responsible to reach out to me. It's just a respect thing in a phone call or something a little more personal than an email, but whatever. The compensation was decent, and that's the point of all this. If you end up in a hotel like this, there are avenues for you to take to be compensated. My ultimate goal and my dream compensation is never to run into a situation like this again, and hope you never do, or really any traveler does. And Hilton hasn't been great to me lately. I'll remind you about the video I did on the Hilton Dulles Airport a few months ago. That place was a dump as well. Yeah, I ranted in this video. And I apologize if you don't like the rant. Tell me about it in the comments. If you are a guest at a hotel and you do research trying to find the best hotel for you and your family, you look at reviews. And by the way, online reviews are full of lies. A lot of times you have to use your little detective skills to find out, it's a little suspicious how many 5-star reviews there are in a line. And they mention employees by name and they're just a little suspicious. It's a whole scam. And you experience a hotel like this, you need to know how to deal with it and not just bend over and take it. So that's my tips and rants for today on this episode of Little Did You Know Travel. On our next episode, we'll return to Warsaw for part 2 of our time in Warsaw. Plus, we'll continue my European trip with stops in Prague, Czech Republic, Krakow, Poland, a couple flight reviews and hotel reviews from that trip. So that's what's coming up in the upcoming episodes of Little Did You Know Travel. Once again, thanks for viewing. Leave comments. What do you think about this hotel? Would you stay there? Is it egregious for them to expect people to stay in their room for 6 hours? I mean, that's mind-boggling to me. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time on Little Did You Know Travel.